Alright, just like last time, this is the PS4 free games review, and the Vita cross-buy games will be in the next video. And for May 2017 on PS4, we've got Abzu and Tales from the Borderlands. Let's get started. First up, Abzu. So if you're even the least bit familiar with Journey, you'll know what to expect from Abzu. Abzu is basically Journey, but with water instead of sand, and fish instead of magic carpets. That said, this was not actually made by the same studio as Journey, that game company, as I originally thought it was. But it was made by several people that worked on Journey, including the art director Matt Nava and composer Austin Wintory. It retains a lot of Journey's core features: beautiful environments to explore, making little sing-songy noises for no reason, and a story told without words about an ancient civilization that does something to the environment. It's never explicitly clear exactly what's going on in either game, but not everything is the same, and I think Journey worked a little better as a game for several reasons. Number 1, collectibles actually impacted gameplay in Journey. In Journey, searching for collectibles was rewarding because each one lengthened your scarf and let you fly for longer. In Abzu, you can collect these shells that don't seem to do anything, so there's really no incentive to get them unless you're a completionist. 2, the co-op. Journey had this amazing feature that let another anonymous player join your game with no voice chat, and you really ended up connecting with this random person. It honestly just felt kind of magical. Abzu doesn't have this. Maybe they were just going for a more solitary experience, but the co-op was a feature that I missed. And 3, having a goal. At the very beginning of Journey, they give you a very clear goal: get to the top of the mountain. The mountain is always in sight, always sort of guiding you for the first few levels of the game. Abzu didn't have anything like this, and I felt a lot of the time like I was just wandering aimlessly. But there are a few things that Abzu improved on. Pressing the X button 3 times with the correct timing will give you a sort of super boost, which actually takes some time to master and is a lot of fun to pull off. Abzu makes a Finding Nemo reference, which is great. And also Abzu lets you ride manatees, and oh, look at that little twirl, isn't he so cute? Overall, Abzu is still beautiful and fun to play, even if Journey was a somewhat meatier experience. Abzu will take you less than 2 hours to complete, so there's really no good reason not to try it out. And look at this pudgy little manatee, I love him, I just want to take him home and name him Herman. And the second PS Plus free game on PS4 is Tales from the Borderlands by Telltale Games. You know, it's always funny to me that in most reviews I see of Telltale games, the actual gameplay part of the game is almost always omitted. If anyone's curious and you haven't played a Telltale game before, this is what the only real gameplay looks like in pretty much every game. But don't let that turn you off. The gameplay in Telltale games is really just there as a formality. What these are interactive movies. There's usually some light puzzle solving, but everything else is just doing QuickTime events and dialogue options. In comparison to my previous experiences with Telltale games, The Walking Dead Season 1 and The Wolf Among Us, I actually really like that in Tales of the Borderlands the characters are a bit on the lighter side, because that means I wasn't afraid to mess around and pick some of the asshole options.
Don't do that! Oh!
Call me whatever you want, but back in Walking Dead Season 1, I cared way too much about Clementine and what she thought of me to ever pick the smartass answers as Lee. But here, I straight up liked Reese better when I played up the smarmy dickhead side of his character.
Hey, Grease Face. The guy with the weird meat thing.
But don't mistake this for a purely comedic experience. Telltale Games does one thing, but they do it damn well, and that's forcing you into difficult choices that impact the story in interesting ways. So this isn't just the Walking Dead comedy edition in space. This is a full story with some great characters. Sure, the engine was already showing its age when this came out 3 years ago, but it works a little better with the Borderlands art style, and I mean, come on, no one plays these games for the graphics.
What? You got a greasy face.
Are these games a little railroady? Absolutely. Not every game can be as open-ended as Heavy Rain, but high stakes can really make games like this come alive despite their shallow gameplay.
Where's Norman Jaden?
So oftentimes the stakes feel pretty low, given that I know that failing a QuickTime event won't have any lasting consequences. So if you're looking for a game to play with gameplay, then don't bother with Tales from the Borderlands, or any other Telltale game for that matter. But if you're okay with letting the story take the wheel, with gameplay taking a back seat in a different car, on a different road, in a different galaxy, then give Tales from the Borderlands a shot. Anyway, that's all for this video. I'll see you next week for the Vita games. Thanks for watching.
He's a cute little manatee. What are you doing, a cute little swirlies? Oh.